Welcome to this month's episode of Junk Food on the Road. This time we will be talking about...
Holland.
Holland?
Or the Netherlands.
Where are we, in the 1970s?
Is it still called Holland?
I guess so. But everybody calls it the Netherlands now.
Really?
Yeah. But the people are still Dutch.
So people from Netherlands and people from Holland are called Dutch.
Yes.
They're not called... It's not Dutchland?
No, because Deutschland is Germany.
So confusing.
I love Europe.
It's okay, so we're talking about the Netherlands.
The Netherlands. One thing that Canadians and the Netherlands... Two things Canadians and Netherlanders have in common with yummy food is pancakes and peanut butter.
Yeah, it's true. They like peanut butter in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Forgot about that.
Yeah.
Pancakes are a little different. They're often savory.
Yes, and they're where we do sort of stacks of sort of smaller, fluffy pancakes. They do a big, like, plate-sized one pancake.
And I don't remember them being as fluffy as Canadian pancakes.
They're not as fluffy, but they're not as flat as, like, the French crepes.
Yeah, it's not a crepe. It's like something in between.
And there's often stuff inside, like, not inside them, but, like, incorporated into the batter.
Yeah, like
when they
hams and
bacons
vegetables.
or cheeses or, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's still...
They're still known as a pancake.
There are pancake and peanut butter brethren.
Yes.
Yes.
So, the other thing that's quite popular in the Netherlands is cheese.
Cheese. Well, Edam is a Dutch town. Gouda is a Dutch town.
Yep. And we visited both those, didn't we?
We did, and we have the collection of cheese knives to prove it.
Yeah. We also went to the UK at that point and got one from Cheddar.
Yes. So we also have a knife from Cheddar, cheese knife from Cheddar.
We have a cheese knife from Cheddar, Gouda, and Edam.
Yeah, and a raclette. Yeah. And it's amazing because, like, you think of Edam and Gouda as being types of cheese, but when you go to these towns, there's like a huge variety of cheeses available there that are just Gouda cheeses and Edam cheeses.
Yeah, and like often tourists can get like whole balls of cheese, like that's
and you can get giant wheels.
Yeah, and they have a whole thing where they carry them around on these like it's a two-person, almost like a sled-looking thing.
I didn't see anybody doing that.
No, we saw the sled things.
Yeah, we saw the
pictures
sled
of it.
things. Yeah.
So
that was pretty fun.
But cheese is definitely a big thing, and
it's really good.
Good
it's
cheese.
The kind of cheese I like. Like French cheeses tend to be very, very sharp and ripe, but these are a little bit milder, and that's very much
closer to a cheddar or a Monterey Jack even.
Cheddar. Yeah, maybe a little bit stronger than a mozzarella or a Monterey Jack.
Yeah.
Yeah, but very good, and always like the distinctive wax on the wheels of
and
cheese.
Red often, but various colors also available.
Yeah, I think in North America, when we see red, we think Gouda, and when we see yellow, we think Edam, but there's really a bigger variety than that.
Yeah. I wonder if in Gouda and Edam they just call it cheese.
I don't know. I didn't ask anyone.
Yeah, it's like, what do you call Edam cheese? Cheese.
Yeah.
It's like when we went to Brussels and I asked them what they call those things. They said they just call them sprouts.
We went to England and we saw English muffins and they were just called muffins.
So, who knows?
Yeah. But we're talking about the Netherlands.
Yeah. So, one of the things I'll talk about candy-wise that's really popular there, much like sort of that general northern part of Europe, is licorice. Or zoet. And double zoet.
Yeah, and it's salted licorice,
right? Drops?
Drop.
Yeah, zoet drops, which is salty drops, I think.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so there's a lot of places that sell licorice, and there's actually stores that they basically sell almost exclusively just licorice. We went to one, and they had they have a whole bunch of different kinds, different salts, shapes. On candycritic.org, you can find I reviewed 5 or 6 different types of licorice that we got in the Netherlands, and it was all pretty interesting stuff. And I'm not a big fan of licorice, but as far as licorice goes, it's the good stuff.
I didn't have any.
Yeah.
You describe yourself as not a big fan. I describe myself as I don't like licorice.
See, I'm not a big fan only because I tried to like it. And actually, the Dutch licorice is what I tried to wean myself onto licorice with. And it was fairly successful. It was pretty... I started to understand what the flavor is in licorice that people like, But the problem I have is there's that acidy kind of burny flavor that comes with it that I don't like.
Okay.
I was able to separate them.
Okay.
You know, the good flavor with the sort of that horrible flavor.
I'm sorry, I'm already thinking about Strobe waffles.
Strobe waffles?
Yeah.
Strobe waffles are so okay. So we'll talk. What is Strobe waffle? You can actually get Strobe waffles all over the place. I've seen them all over.
Yeah, but they are Dutch.
They are very Dutch, and most of the time I think they're probably in a Dutch or like a foreign food section.
Maybe.
In most places, I think even in Canada I've seen them there. But basically, what they are is, if you've ever seen them, they're those. It's like very thin, sort of waffly looking cookies with like a caramel cream, like a caramel type center.
Yeah.
And the trick, I don't know if this is actually how you're supposed to eat them.
We learned this from a Dutch friend of ours who is now in Canada. Which is probably in Greece right now. But you put you take your stroopwafel, and they're pretty big, like they're very sort of thin. Mm-hmm. But they're about maybe 3 or 4 inches in diameter.
Yes, slightly bigger than a mug.
Yes.
For a reason.
Because you put them on top of your tea mug to heat it up a little bit, and it melts the caramel in the middle a little bit, and it is super yummy.
It's so much better. So if you come across these, which again you could probably find these just about anywhere you are.
I think we've seen them at IKEA.
Yeah, it's true. I think we have. So if you find them, those big sort of waffling, don't just eat them like a cookie. Get either your tea or coffee. I think either one would work.
Yeah.
When it's nice and
warm. A
warm
warm beverage that will...
And the cool thing is it kind of keeps your drink warmer for a little bit longer. And you sit it on top and let the heat sort of melt that caramel and then bite into it. Fantastic. And the smell that comes off of it is amazing. I really... it's one of those things you kind of miss a little bit.
Yeah. You know, I really like it a lot.
It's one... And we went to a place... I remember we went to one place. We bought some in a place... Like
they had made it that morning.
They made them. Like that's the one thing that's sort of foreign to me is like it's sort of like going to an Oreo cookie factory. Like you don't think about somebody making Oreo cookies. And it's the same with these things. Like I think about them selling in stores, but I don't actually think about somebody sort of making them. And that's kind of a neat thing. And then when we went to this bakery, they had them like for sale, ones that they made, and it was like
those were amazing.
They were really good.
Yeah.
And to some degree you don't even have to warm them up that much because sometimes they're actually still warm.
And didn't they have... I'm sort of getting off the stroopwafel topic a little bit, but we went to this festival for Koningsdag, King's Day, and they had all these stalls with foods in them, and there were some special ones just for Koningsdag. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but I'm trying.
It's King's Day, isn't it?
King's Day. But I don't remember what they had. There were some special treats in the food stalls at the fair.
Yeah.
And there was some special treats in the sort of King's Day storefront.
Well, there was one that was like a mint, like an orange mint. And the reason why it was orange mint is because they're very clever. Because the royal family in the Netherlands, their last name is Orange.
Yeah.
And so when you get, like, first of all, one thing you'll notice, probably if you watch any sporting event, lots of people, they're cheering for the Netherlands, wear orange. But then also they make a lot of treats and things that are orange flavored to sort of celebrate the family, which is a little weird. But it's weird because, like, there's no oranges there. So the only...
Yes, but they made carrots orange.
They did. Well, that's another thing. But I find it kind of weird that orange is a really popular flavor to celebrate for things during their king's birthday or whatever, the King's Day, and then they make things orange. But it's not a tropical place, and it's not even warm enough to grow oranges.
Yeah, but the orange color exists in a lot of places outside of the tropics. It's just the fruit.
But a lot of things are flavored orange.
I guess.
So that's a little weird.
Yeah.
I can accept the color. But it's the flavor, it's the orange flavored things, and I'm sort of like...
I guess it's just sort of morphed that way.
Yeah, it's weird. I imagine at a certain point, like, oranges came in and they went, hey, neat, how convenient.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, one of the things that, the historical facts about the Netherlands is that they did, in fact, make carrots orange. So carrots originally were... Red.
And you can still find red carrots here and there.
Yeah. There's certain countries actually where the red ones are more common than the orange ones.
That's because they didn't have the Dutch influence.
Exactly, they didn't have the Dutch influence. But where they have the Dutch influence, you find orange carrots. And so when you all out there buy carrots, you're actually buying Dutch carrots.
Yeah.
Somewhere down the line, they probably
or a
Dutch strain,
mutation or strain or.
Yeah, they should start calling them Dutch. You know what? The Netherlands should try and get, what's that thing when like Greek cheese?
Geographic indications.
Yeah, geographic indication for carrots. That would
orange carrots.
For orange carrots, that would be fantastic. I'm telling you right there, that would be. I'm behind that campaign, and I'd love to see it happen.
I'm apolitical.
So, but I mean, I remember the Netherlands in general being very sort of like lots of salads, lots of like, because it's a fairly clean country. Like
there were some really excellent restaurants.
Remember that one that was a bridge across the highway?
Was that in the Netherlands?
Yeah, I think so. Because we had the car. That was between when we were driving from Delft to I guess whatever where the tulips were.
Listen.
Yeah. And there's this highway, and there's a bridge that goes across it.
Yeah.
And it's like got a food court. And it's got, again, food courts there. There's a lot of, I would say the food courts sort of seem like a cross between an IKEA food court and a salad bar often. And that particular place had it, but it was on the bridge, like actually on the bridge.
Yeah, it was like one of those highway stops, but you could access it from both sides because it was in the middle.
Yeah, because the actual restaurants were actually on the bridge, and that was kind of neat. Like that was a memorable thing. I remember it's also very expensive there. Like a lot of food was very pricey in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't cheap.
No.
Although I think one of our best coffees or tea times we ever had was in the Netherlands. And it's like one of those things that, you almost picture postcard-esque, vacation.
Well, it saved our marriage.
Yeah. Where we were riding on a tandem bike through the tulip fields. And we stopped off at a little place and had a cup of tea.
In the middle of the field.
In the middle of the fields. And there's this little
tea shop.
And, but it's like.
Some tea and cake.
The most sort of, you would say sort of, touristy-ish thing you could possibly do.
That was our only experience on a tandem bike. And I have to say that from somebody who'd never done it before, riding a tandem bike looks really difficult. But in reality, it's even more difficult than it looks.
Yeah, it's remarkably hard.
It's really hard.
But I remember that little tea place. That was really nice. That was your sort of standard thing. I think they drink a lot of beer in the Netherlands too. So I seem to remember the first thing.
Another cultural Canadian thing that we share.
There's a lot of connection there. We went to Amsterdam as well. I don't think there was anything particular in Amsterdam.
Well, the King's Day festival.
Yeah, but other than that, there wasn't anything like I would say in the Netherlands that was. I think we found more sort of what seemed like more traditional stuff while we were in Delft.
Delft was amazing.
Yeah, Delft was amazing.
We did not find a bad restaurant in Delft. Everything we did there was fantastic.
I think if you want to get that what you expect of a town in the Netherlands to be like, Delft is what you imagine.
Yeah. Like
the smaller canals and everything like that. Like in Amsterdam, they have the canals, but they're a little bit bigger and a little more congested. Delft are like really small, and there's people riding bikes everywhere and everything like that. Amsterdam is. I mean, you've got the red light district, which is interesting, but and so
there's pot everywhere.
There is.
You're just inhaling pot.
Yeah, we were staying just pretty close to the red light district, and it was.
I liked our hotel because they had extremely strict rules.
Yeah, that's actually one of the things. If you can try, ask your hotel and say if you're worried about that. I mean, you're there to go smoke pot, then you're probably not Canadian. But if you're there to smoke pot, then you won't care. But if you're concerned about that, I think if you ask your hotel if they allow it, they'll give you the answer. If they say yes, you might want to consider finding another hotel because it can be everywhere.
Yeah, and it was really nice to have that safe haven in the hotel to get away from all of the and like there were rules about parties and
bringing hookers in.
Yeah. It was, but it was really good for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, but in general, I found that, and to be honest, most of it happened in one area.
Yeah, it was
like
pretty
once you got near
contained.
like Anne Frank's house and stuff, there wasn't much going on.
Yeah.
So and in the other parts of the Netherlands, you wouldn't even know that Amsterdam is part of it.
I gotta say, it's been more than 4 years since we went, so a lot of this is hard to remember.
Yeah, but you know what? It's amazing how much we have remembered. I mean, it was a very memorable place in a lot of ways.
I loved it there.
Yeah.
I loved the only thing that was really weird, and this has nothing to do with food, is that we got a rental car and we asked for a compact, but they upgraded us to this gigantic SUV to drive around with all these little narrow streets everywhere, and of course, the Netherlands is very environmentally conscious, so like with a lot of bicycles and a lot of small economical cars, and there I was in this gigantic SUV feeling like a complete jerk.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about, actually, you can kind of bring that into food, is with the environmental conscious, there is definitely this idea of eating food that's like farmed.
Yeah.
Like salads and vegetables and like, you know, simple food like that. Like processed food didn't seem like as popular a thing as.
And we found Jane's Crazy Mixed Up Salt there, which is really hard to find these days.
There's actually a lot of, like in the cheese places, going back to that, there was a lot of really good sort of little kitchen stores.
Yeah.
We came across a couple, like when we were finding knives, we went on this weird thing about cheese knives.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Probably a mistake. We have too many cheese knives
now. But we went on this sort of crazy thing, and then, but one of the things is we found lots of little shops that had that stuff available.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you're a food person and you're traveling there, and you find like little ones, like they're little shops, it's just little storefronts, and you can find different little things in it, and so it's a lot of fun. It adds to the sort of, if you're going there to try some cheese, you can go to a restaurant, then probably find a few kitchen shops. It's
yeah, the cheese was so great.
And you find it everywhere, like.
And you can taste the cheese. Like there's all these different cheeses in all the cheese shops that you can try, and it's.
And really restaurants will have like things like, and they'll do something simple like cheese sandwiches.
Yum.
And it's just a cheese sandwich. It's just like a grilled cheese or like a toasted cheese sandwich, but because they have like different kinds of cheese and everything, they take it really seriously. So it's not just like it's definitely not processed cheese, and it's generally like it'll be a special cheese that's either just being done at that time or from the area or whatever. So it was really good. You know, definitely if you're into cheese, you're gonna love the Netherlands.
Yes.
Yeah.
And pancakes and peanut butter. And licorice, salted licorice.
Yeah, if you like licorice, you're also.
And Strobe waffles.
Yeah, Strobe waffles are just
so good.
So good. Definitely want to give those a try. But yeah, in general, it's a really good foodie place.
Yeah, I don't remember anything else. Do you?
I just remember lots of bakeries, lots of
and lots of really good quality food, with good ingredients.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, there's nothing out like that I would say that's different than anything else, but it's just the quality of that stuff is just really good. Mm-hmm. And you really sort of feel that when you get there.
Yeah.
So I think that's it.
Now I want to go back.
I know there's a few people that would love for us to go back.
Really?
I think so.
They all live in Canada now.
Maybe. I guess maybe that's why we were so comfortable there.
Yeah. It's true. I mean, we have a lot of people who have Dutch heritage who are friends in Canada, and I think we do share a lot of similarities.
Yeah.
And I have to say that we are the beneficiary of hundreds of thousands of tulips every year in our capital city.
Yep.
Because of the friendship between our two countries.
Yep. Because one of the royals was born sort of in Canada. Yeah,
one of the birthing room in the hospital was declared international territory for the birth, so that they didn't have to. It was during the war, one of the wars, World War II, I think, and it was so that the royal baby could be born on international soil instead of another sovereign soil, so that they could retain their royal sovereign status.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I've seen the paperwork for it. It's kind of cool.
That is kind of cool. Well, thanks, Netherlands.
Yeah, thanks for all the tulips.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all the yummy food.
Yeah, cheese and stuff.
Yeah. And the festival.
And thank you for listening to another episode of Junk Food on the Road. Nice transition. As always, you can follow us on Twitter @CandyCritic, or go to candycritic.org and find links to all of our other social media, including Tumblr and Instagram and Facebook and all that other stuff. And you can follow us on Patreon. You can go to patreon.com/candycritic and follow us there, and you get all kinds of bonus stuff, including a Friday video and sometimes bloopers from other stuff we do, and all kinds of cool stuff like that. So thanks for listening, and we'll see you next month.
Bye.
Just to let you